I think the work Peepal Tree does is, I mean, utterly invaluable. I really think that we can't. I mean, there's, as everyone would know, that, you know, in The Pleasures of Exile, George Lamming pays tribute to Henry Swansea in the Caribbean Voices and says, you know, this is what a single man who really did help to kind of shape the history of this literature. And I think, you know, in years to come, there will be writers of this generation who will look back and say the same about Jeremy Poynting and say, you know, that if I hadn't had the offer of that publication at that point, my career may not have developed.
Well, at Peepal Tree, no praise is too high for Jeremy. Yeah. Jeremy could be the one man who saved Caribbean writing, because it's very difficult. From the 60s to about the 80s, Metropolitan publishers would publish Caribbean writers. That fell off in the 90s, and now it's just publishing it's consolidating, it's getting smaller, and the people who get in either by luck or contact or whoever. So not presses like Peepal Tree, really, if it were not for Peepal Tree, I wouldn't be published, a lot of Caribbean writing. I would say the great majority of Caribbean writing wouldn't be published.
And I think it's just brilliant for Peepal Tree that this conference is happening now, that we recognize and we're acknowledging all the work that Peepal Tree has done, that Jeremy has done, that all the Peepal Tree people have done, and that the importance of the press, the presence of Peepal Tree in keeping alive and in engendering the possibility of more Caribbean and Black British and African diasporic writing, you know? Because, I mean, where will this writing actually be accepted or recognized or acknowledged outside of a place like Peepal Tree? Maybe a few other places in the world.
And thank God we have Peepal Tree that are bringing the work to the audiences, and there are other people who are doing work in bringing authors to audiences in different ways.
I mean, I feel when I'm in Peepal Tree, like I'm in good company. I mean, I've so admired, I've so admired what they've tried to do at first with minimal resources, and as the resources have grown, they stay true to the vision. Yes. The second book I did overseas. I mean, I did my first overseas book, if you like. I did some local publications. My first overseas book was with them. The second one, I tried an American publisher, and the experience for me wasn't half as good.
I mean, increasingly, Peepal Tree is the place to be. I mean, and by the place to be, I mean, there's no press. There used to be a time when you could say, okay, where do you find Caribbean literature or West Indian literature and so on? And you could say Heinemann has a series. You could say Macmillan. You could say Longman had a series. They all had their Caribbean writer series and so on and so forth. Those are gone. Even Macmillan, it looks like they plan to close down their sort of devoted series. And the only place that you can say, where do I go to find the new and interesting Caribbean writing? It would be Peepal Tree Press. And that has created an interesting thing, because I think Peepal Tree Press has matured in its editorial sensibility, in its production, in its business structure, making it an attractive place for writers to publish their work and to see their work distributed. So to me, the sky's the limit as to where Peepal Tree will go. And I think it's really playing, I mean, poetry, Caribbean poetry would have no home without Peepal Tree Press.
I am so happy to be a part of the Peepal Tree Press family, and I've had a wonderful experience with them, with Jeremy, Hannah, and now the extended family. I feel that they get what I'm doing with my work, and that they encourage me, and particularly with She Who Sleeps with Bones, my first collection, there's a poem in there, Negotiation, that has to do once again with that, gender dynamics and sexuality. And I was a little afraid of publishing it. It does ask the question, do you have a big dick? And Jeremy encouraged me, and I think, I was grateful for that, because I think he understood that, yes, it uses the word dick, but there's so much going on in this poem that I needed to publish it. And I was glad for that encouragement. So I'm really happy to be a part of the family and to be given this opportunity to be here.
So without Peepal Tree, for instance, it is hard to imagine what so many poets would do. I mean, I don't know what we'll be doing. We'll be writing on tree barks and inviting people to look at our barks. Because believe it or not, poets like Christian Campbell tried every established and less established house in the US and the UK to get his award-winning collection published before he accepted a long-standing invitation from me to publish with Peepal Tree Press. He tried everywhere. Now, nothing is wrong with his book. His book is clearly brilliant, right? It was shortlisted for the Forward. It won the Aldeburgh Poetry Prize. So there's nothing wrong with the book. But the publishers wouldn't take it. Why wouldn't they take it? Well, they thought it's a little too Caribbean. You see the problem, right? Of course, when it's published, now they go, well, it's brilliant. Let's give it an award, right? Notwithstanding that of what it is. So Peepal Tree's devotion to publishing Caribbean writing is a devotion to keeping a space open for the work that emerges there. But the truth is, Peepal Tree is largely run and owned by a white dude in England, right? Okay, so are we back to where we were? I think we're in a different place now because the white dude likes to work with us too. So
I think 25 years. Here's to another 25 years.
Brilliant. Thank you very much for your time.
No problem.
And enjoy the rest of the conference.
I will. Thank you very much.